Adolfo Morelli, 1896–1965, founder of the Rhode Island faction of the Patriarca family. Frank C. Morelli was an early leader of Italian organized crime in Rhode Island. Morelli and some of his brothers long have been suspected of involvement in the April 1920 South Braintree, Massachusetts, robbery murders for which Sacco and Vanzetti were executed in August 1927. Morelli was born in Brooklyn and moved with his family to Rhode Island around the time of World War I. Morelli was born Adolfo Morelli to parents Gennaro, John, and Filomena, Fanny, Carullo Morelli in Providence in 1896. The family name changed in Rhode Island from Morelli to Morelli. Frank discarded his given name of Adolfo in the 1930s, as Adolf Hitler gained power in Germany. The Morelli boys grew up in a congested North End Italian neighborhood along Ledge Street, Charles Street and Marietta Street. Much of the area population is of Italian descent today. Joe Morelli became leader of a burglary gang that included his brothers and a number of other young men from the neighborhood, including Joseph, Gyp the Blood, Imondi, Anthony Mancini and Albert, Bibba, Barone. Frank Morelli had connections in Manhattan, Brooklyn and Troy, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, Jersey City, New Jersey, Montreal, Canada, and Havana, Cuba. While establishing himself as leader of the Providence underworld, Morelli was involved in some violent incidents. He was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. In the following year, he was the victim of a stabbing. In 1931, authorities suspected but could not prove that Morelli was involved in the house bombing of a Providence gambling racketeer. Morelli soon became known as leader of gambling rackets in the region and moved himself and his wife into a new home in western Providence. Rhode Island was known as territory of the New England crime family. At the time, the organization was dominated by bosses from the Boston area, but Morelli remained the recognized leader in Providence. A decade later, as Raymond Patriarca returned to Providence after a term in Massachusetts' Charlestown State Prison, Morelli began turning control of the rackets over to Patriarca. Patriarca soon would rise to command the regional crime family. Law enforcement investigations of gambling in the Providence area in the 1950s continued to turn up evidence of Morelli involvement, though Morelli was by then under treatment for cancer of his jaw and throat. Through the early 1960s, the FBI considered Morelli to be one of the decision-makers in the New England regional mafia. Morelli died in 1965 at the age of 69, following a return of his cancer. No notice of his death was published in the press. He was quickly and quietly buried at St. Anne's Cemetery in Cranston, Rhode Island. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. Hit the notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. And as always, thank you for watching, and please come back again.